Sometimes, the greatest kings don't start in palaces, but in pastures. This is the story of David, the shepherd boy, whom God chose to be king. Once upon a time in Bethlehem, there lived a man named Jesse, who had 8 sons. The youngest of them all was David. He wasn't the strongest, nor the tallest, nor the most respected. While his brothers were warriors, David spent his days alone in the field, watching over sheep. But this quiet pasture was David's training ground. He learned courage, fighting off lions and bears. He learned faithfulness, taking care of what didn't belong to him. He learned worship, writing songs to God with his harp, songs we read today in the book of Psalms. One day, God rejected King Saul because Saul disobeyed him. So God sent prophet Samuel to Jesse's house. To choose a new king, Samuel looked at David's older brothers. They looked strong, powerful, fit for kingship. But God said, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." David was called from the field, smelling like sheep, with a sling in his hand. There, before his surprised brothers, Samuel anointed him as the next king of Israel. The Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. But David didn't become king immediately. He went back to the field. He waited. He served. Soon, Saul began to be troubled by an evil spirit. David was called to play the harp for him. The shepherd boy began to enter the palace, not as a king yet, but as a servant. Then came the moment that changed everything. A giant named Goliath was challenging Israel. Warriors were afraid. Even the king was afraid. But David said a powerful sentence, "You come to me with sword and spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord, with one stone." David defeated Goliath. Israel shouted. Saul was amazed. David became a hero. But Saul became jealous. David had to run for his life, hiding in caves. Yet even when Saul was at his mercy, David refused to kill him. He would not fight for the throne. He would wait for God's timing. Finally, Saul died in battle. David was anointed king, first over Judah, then over all Israel. The shepherd boy had become a king. What should you learn from this? 1. God sees your heart, not your height. 2. Be faithful in small things. 3. Your secret training ground prepares you for your future. 4. Don't rush God's timing. 5. True leaders serve first, before they are crowned. If you were blessed by this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join us next time as we continue with more powerful Bible stories. God is still raising Davids today. And maybe, He's raising you.